You are standing beside a cold prehistoric fire when a nervous mother animal pushes her tiny newborn toward your feet. And no, this is not kindness in the human sense. It is survival, shaped by trust, fear, hunger, pain, and the strange advantage of being near another species. Small bodies trembling, predators beyond the firelight. One wrong decision, and a family disappears. For animals, danger was not inconvenient. Danger was a death machine. By the end, you will understand why some animals appear to bring their babies to humans, why most do not, and how this behavior connects to one of the oldest partnerships in human history. The common assumption is that animals see humans as magical rescuers. The truth is more complicated. Animals may seek safety, familiar care, food, warmth, or help when their usual options fail. Picture a camp roughly 14,000 years ago in Ice Age Europe. Smoke clings to fur clothing, fat crackles over stone-lined fire, and scavengers wait beyond the edge of light. At the Bonn Oberkassel site in Germany, archaeologists found the remains of a dog buried with two humans, dated to about 14,200 years ago. Long before cities, species were already learning that survival could sometimes be shared. Trust was a tool. Researchers who study animal behavior have found that viral stories can make animal behavior look more human than it really is. At first, people thought an animal bringing a baby must understand that a human will protect it like a parent would. Then they realized that many cases are better explained by attachment, learned association, proximity to food, or an animal choosing a place it already considers safe. A mother dog may carry or guide puppies toward a trusted caretaker because that person has repeatedly provided shelter, food, and calm handling. That does not prove the dog understands hospitals, medicine, or human compassion in the abstract. It shows something just as remarkable. She has learned who is safe. Archaeologists found that early humans created predictable islands of warmth, food, discarded bones, and protection in dangerous landscapes. At first, they thought animals near camps were simply thieves, drawn by scraps and smell. Then they realized that some animals could gain enormous advantages by staying near people, while humans gained warning systems, hunting partners, and eventually companions. Evidence from Ice Age sites shows that humans processed animal carcasses with stone tools and maintained hearths, creating places where scavenging animals could find calories that were otherwise difficult to reach. The safest animal was not always the strongest animal. Sometimes it was the one willing to stay near the fire. Researchers studying dogs and humans discovered that dogs can form attachment relationships with their caregivers. At first, people thought dogs merely obeyed because humans controlled food. Then they realized that dogs also use human behavior for reassurance, much like a social partner checking whether it is safe to explore. Studies using attachment-style tests found that many dogs show stronger comfort-seeking and exploration around their caregivers than around unfamiliar people. This helps explain why a domestic dog in distress may seek a person and why a mother dog may place her puppies near someone she trusts. Archaeologists found a human buried with a cat at Chilirocombos in Cyprus around 9,500 years ago. At first, people thought cats became close to humans only because humans deliberately domesticated them as pets. Then they realized that early farming settlements likely attracted rodents. Rodents attracted wildcats, and some cats benefited from living close to people. Evidence suggests it does show a relationship unusual enough to place a cat beside a human in burial. Food created proximity. Proximity created tolerance. and tolerance sometimes became trust. Researchers and animal welfare workers also know that an animal approaching a human with young can signal stress. At first, people thought every approach was a request to save the baby. Then they realized that an animal may be fleeing predators, searching for food, reacting to disturbance, or using a familiar human space as temporary cover. A wild animal with young can also be frightened and dangerous, even when it appears calm. So the compassionate response is not automatically to touch, feed, or collect the baby. Sometimes the best help is distance. Imagine hearing a newborn animal cry beyond the circle of fire. Imagine knowing the dark holds wolves, cold, hunger, and creatures you cannot see. Imagine choosing whether to move closer or stay still. What would you risk for a living thing that cannot explain what it needs? The Bonn Oberkassel dog had survived serious illness before it died, and researchers have argued that it likely received prolonged human care. Cooperation was humanity's greatest weapon. Honestly, I think this is what makes the story so human. Your brain still responds to helpless cries, wide eyes, and the sight of a parent trying to protect its young. Your body still recognizes the ancient calculation: safety is stronger when it is shared. We cannot know every detail of what happened, but the science underneath is solid. Animals do not usually bring babies to humans because they think like us. Sometimes, across the firelight of thousands of years, they come closer because they have learned we might not be the danger